It is time for everyone's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. And boy, was it dumb. So Alvarez, Bryan is flabbergasted at Meltzer's blind defense of Tony Khan's excuse for posting blank tournament brackets. Dave then tries to deflect with a pathetic, but WWE, Bryan. This was the supposed number one wrestling journalist for the past 40 years. Is there no one else? Is there no one else from Troy?
The reason
and oddly enough, a wrestler is who he fights. Who is it? Nathan Jones, right? And then Brad Pitt stabs him real quick, and then he's done. And Nathan Jones is in the WWE. But anyways, here's trying Bryan again. He's trying.
The reason that there were no brackets on the first week was he had that
it's not about even here's the big part that Dave's going to leave out before he even gets going. And hopefully Bryan brings this up. FTR had a match, advanced in the tournament, and then the tournament, before the whole first bracket was even announced. So it's just dumb no matter what Dave says about this. Oh, Tony was late that day and couldn't write it down, Bryan. Whatever he says, it doesn't even matter because they already had a team that advanced before the tournament was announced. Who was in it. So it's just silly. It's just lazy last minute booking.
He had he wanted to introduce, he was going to do the brackets, and then Colton Gunn got hurt. Okay. So he's going to put Juice Robinson with Austin Gunn as a team, but he didn't want to announce that until he shot the thing where they got together.
Okay. So why though? So you're just he didn't want to do it because this happened and this happened and this happened. It's just like the show. Well, this happens and this happens. Okay, why? Why couldn't he have just went, all right, we'll use one of the other 700 tag teams. Well, it's a big push for Juice. Push him as a single then. Just don't put him in the tag tournament. Get him build him up over the next couple weeks and just have the crowd going nuts for him. Whatever. I don't know, but it just seems so... Tony just gets stuck in his ideas and he just forces them. That's what Vince used to do, and we all hated that.
So that's why the first
show. What does that have to do with any of the other teams?
Yeah, exactly. Why? So okay, that's awesome. Why didn't you announce all the other teams around it? There you go. There's Bryan beat me to the punch there too. It's just the overarching but why though? So you couldn't announce other teams. Why?
Brackets out until he had the whole brackets out. He didn't want to leave a blank. So he just decided.
People leave.
You don't want to leave a blank. FTR advanced in the tournament and the whole rest of the quarterfinals were still blank, Dave. So no, that goes out the window, which is what I pointed out before.
Wait a second. Well, hold on a minute, Dave. If you would have done this, I would have just given you hell for this.
Just do it.
If you had done this. Do you notice how he had to kiss his balls? And, well, you, of course, are the king, emperor, booker, greatest mind in all of pro wrestling. And if you even did this, I would go, hey, now, Dave, that doesn't make sense. And you're typically a sensible guy. Holy.
Just put Bang Bang Gang. Which is actually what he did in the end. He didn't even say Juice Robinson. He just said Bang Bang Gang.
Exactly.
Put Bang Bang Gang in the brackets and then shoot the angle of who the other Bang Bang guy is going to be.
Or just don't use them. There you go. Who is this helping? Oh, well, they're all back. Well, one's hurt. So, two of them are back. Okay, then just push Juice. What are you doing? Don't put him in a tag tournament, There's so many other ways around this. It's so silly. And just the defense of the silliness, bro. Yes, I would cook Triple H if he did this. When Triple H did a tournament of triple threats or whatever, I was like, what are you doing? We're watching you, bro. Don't get lazy now because, the other company's up. So yes, I would call this out either way. This is so stupid.
Want to do that because he thought that it would be false.
This is the most you can get away with me. Ready? Oh, these two teams are mystery teams. Or hey, there's one mystery team in this tournament. Or there's one mystery guy on this side and one mystery guy on this side. Right? You can get away with that. Other than that, or you can get away with this guy's injured and we have a last minute replacement. I'll see him in the ring. And then it's a surprise. Oh, okay, sweet. But unless why there's no purpose to not announce everyone, and there's no purpose of even doing a fucking another tournament, to be honest.
Advertising Colton Gunn.
Bro,
So
he put up a bracket with no teams in it.
Yes, I know.
That's preposterous.
And FTR advanced before there was any other teams announced.
That's preposterous.
That's why he did it, and he put the team.
That's why he did it, because it was preposterous. What?
On the next show on Saturday.
That was ridiculous. You should have just put TBA. I've seen 1,000 tournaments where there's. And actually, Dave, hold on a second.
Yes.
He's done brackets
with TBAs
where he had a TBA in it.
Absolutely. Oh, he's done a lot of mystery.
So why didn't he do a TBA this time? It actually put teams in the brackets.
I don't know.
I will not stand for this one. This one is ridiculous.
See, he has to be like, well, this one, Dave. The other ones that I've like tried to call out that you shut me down and don't actually let me call out and just spurg out about, so I have to change the subject because it's so flabbergastingly stupid. Yeah, this one though is for real, man. This one's really bad. Even you have to admit, right, Dave? That's shitty that Bryan has to just like be a little whipping boy, right? Like that, dude. This shit isn't loading now. Yeah, I don't know. This video just melted down, but that's okay because we got what we needed out of that. So hold the booker accountable. Oh yeah, that's in here. I should have pulled that one out. So Dave did the voice cracking Tony Khan voice again. Are you guys ready? Julia Gulia, if you're out there in the wild, we need the new Tony Khan.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
We got a new one, dude. He gets real excited because Dave just hit puberty. I don't know if you guys knew this, and he gets really excited when he talks about Tony Khan, the best guy. It's incredibly quiet on Meltzer Said What's part. So I apologize. When I clip this, I will boost the fuck out of the volume for now. Just crank your volume up. I'll try not to be loud in the mic, which I know is impossible.
Man, there's a lot about Tony Khan. I'll tell you.
Tony Khan. Did you guys hear it? Sorry, I was instantly loud in the mic because I got excited. Tony Khan. Listen really closely.
Right, Tony Khan.
Man, there's a lot about Tony Khan. I'll tell you.
There's a lot about Tony Khan. Oh my God, dude. I love it.
Did an interview with Case Lowe and, talked about his fandom and his favorite TV shows, which coincidentally were like, his favorite TV shows from the 80s, like specific episodes.
Oh, he loves 80s TV. I can't listen to that because it's so quiet, chat. So listen, here's what Dave Meltzer has to say. And the mole calls it out. He's like, it was 5 billion, then 4 billion, then 3. Sneaky Dave knocking off a few billion every few months. So Dave Meltzer talking about AEW is like a wrestling company valued at $2 billion and third largest combat sports company in the world. With major profit margins guaranteed based on just U.S. rights is the farthest thing from a failure. Sorry for your not reading the issues you subscribed for, because I've discussed business heavily and you didn't even pick up on something as basic as that. I mean, do I even roast this? Like, he's just so condescending. This is why he's become a lolcow. I don't know who he's responding to, but it's just this whole, like, sorry for you not reading the issues you subscribed for. Insanity, bro. It's such a crazy, like, superiority complex. Is that the term I'm looking for? I'm not sure. It's just insane to think like, Dave, you have the holy Bible of wrestling or what? Like, no one gives a shit. You get basic things wrong all the time. And when real people are like, this guy's a fucking moron, you just block them and then you go on your message board and go, oh, this guy fucking stinks or whatever. And then you just talk shit there. Then you just don't address it. So it's like, shut up, man. So here's Dave Meltzer crying about Unreal being about Triple H. So think about this shit, dude. Think about how funny this is, okay? He's triggered that the reality show about the booking and inner workings of WWE is focused on the guy who's in charge of the bookings and inner workings of WWE.
Poor people don't like AEW.
So Dave's losing his mind, man.
The whole show is very clearly designed. Someone who was...
And let me remind you, because it's an episodic event here at PWT, okay? This is a chronology going on. We chronicle these things. Listen. He was mad about them showing on Netflix the trailer, them saying like, hey, I show speed, get out there and get speared or whatever, right? Or I can't remember. One of these streamer guys, they're like, go out there, the one who got speared by Braun Breaker, right? KSI or one of these guys, right? Dave got triggered about the fact that Netflix used the trailer of Triple H being like, hey, go out there. But it's like the part of the pay-per-view we all saw, the PLE, right? And then when you watch the actual show, that has nothing to do with it. Like, they just showed that as a cool moment. Here's a famous guy on the trailer for Netflix, and he's in this WWE thing. That was the mentality behind that. Okay. And Dave's like, oh, it was the phoniest thing ever. Clearly part of the show. And it's just like these movie trailers where everybody's trying to diminish these fucking movies before they even come out based off these shitty trailers. And it's the same thing. Like, you watch the show and the whole bit is about, no, we're setting up this bit with IShowSpeed. And Dave melted down about that previously. So it doesn't even, again, he wrote this off before he ever even saw it. So whatever his critique is, doesn't even matter out the front door.
Involved, very involved, said the idea was that they were trying to present Levesque. It's a vehicle for Levesque. They were trying to present Levesque as Dana White, with the idea that the star, the mastermind, is Levesque, and the wrestlers are.
He is the star and the mastermind.
The wrestlers come and go. They're pieces.
No, it's not. You didn't watch the show, Dave. This is why you're an asshole. Oh, they're pieces of meat. That's why they followed Ripley around in her fucking home and got their real names. Like, hey, what's your government name? What's your wrestling names you've used? Tell us about your journey. Chelsea Green, they follow her around from the top star to somebody who's like, fuck, I got left off the show in my hometown or my home country. Dave, it's not that way. You just didn't watch the show. You just watched the clips on YouTube, or you put it on in the background. You didn't even look at the screen out of resentment, and you were typing shit about CMLL.
And I felt watching it. That's kind of how I felt watching it. I thought that they minimized the wrestlers, that a lot of the wrestlers, Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, they came off as very nice people. And
so they minimize them when Triple H sits there and goes, okay, when we come up with this plan, there's certain people who have to clear it. Me, The Rock, John Cena, Nick Khan, Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes was minimized by being brought on that conversation where, okay, there's 3 wrestlers involved in this. We have to talk to all 3 of them type shit. Like, Dave didn't watch the show. And clearly, Bryan, I didn't even watch, actually. I was watching Naked Gun, Frank Drebin. That's what I was doing. I watched 33 1/3 last night, and then I watched Airplane after, which, again, those are all my favorite movies, but I'm going to go see the new Naked Gun soon here, starring Dave Meltzer.
Clearly well-spoken people, but it was very much portrayed.
They're very well-spoken. I mean, these dumb fucking wrestlers who are just stupid, low IQ plebeians, Bryan. They're simpleton dumb fucks that I actually control with my masterminded brain of booking. The ones who study me are successful, Bryan. Tony Khan. Oh, I mean, they're very well spoken. Dave, yes, they're way better spoken than you. So is any 6th grader, you asshole.
That they were the pawns and Paul Levesque.
They were the pawns. They were the pawns, Dave. Oh, my God. They're just pawns in his big grand scheme. It's like these wrestlers were just like wrestlers on this wrestling show, Bryan. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't rack my brain, Bryan.
Manipulator.
He's the great manipulator. Dave, you couldn't project any harder. You're trying to manipulate a narrative right now, and you're telling this to a bunch of people who stick their noses in the air, a bunch of Sidgewigs who stick their noses in the air and go, oh, I won't even watch this. Well, this dumb WWE brainwashing. Meanwhile, that's what you're doing, okay? You're a fucking goofball, man. So we move along here. Dave No Stars Meltzer with his anti-WWE propaganda. He'll lose. He goes so hard in the paint with his troll, dude. You have to respect that shit. So he's just so like over the top vicious with his trolls. But here we go. Here's Meltzer just diminishing. He's going to diminish Miro now, who, of course, when Miro gets the whole meat thing over in AEW, he's just like, well, this guy.
The other interesting thing was how absolutely dead Rusev is. And boy, he knows.
We've known that for a long time.
But boy, does he know it.
We've known that for a long time. How have you known that for a long time? Because you and you little ninnies sit around in your little tea party texting each other and, oh, Rusev doesn't want a job for guys. And it's okay. It's okay, Tony. It's okay, Tony Khan. Stop saying my last name. You don't have to keep saying it like that. It's kind of weird, actually. And Bryan's like, oh, we knew that for a long time, right, boss? Right, boss? Bryan's that little yippy dog that's jumping. Oh, what do we, right, boss? We're gonna go get us a cat, right, boss? Yeah. Like, fuck, man. We knew that for a long time. Every time he showed up in AEW, he got a huge fucking reaction. He got a huge pop. They're chanting, they're going meat, right? They try to book him in some little goofy story with Lana and Andrade, I think, and it was just dumb and bad. And so everyone was like, fuck this, right? But Rusev's still over, or like Miro is. And then he comes back to WWE after being benched for like fucking over a year or something since the last time we saw him. Oh, we knew he wasn't hot for a long time. I mean, that's why Tony benched him, Bryan. It's just this, like, burying the wrestler shit. See, wrestlers get mad at fucking the way I say stuff. That's all it is, okay? I found out Swerve blocked me. Who put Swerve over more than me? I put him over all the time. It's like, you just don't like how I say the shit. But Dave is sitting here, like, burying you guys. I don't fucking do that. The onus is on the leadership, first and foremost. And then if it's like, we give you the ball, you got to run with it. If you can't live up to it, then the wrestler can get criticized as well. Or if they're doing the same dumb shit over and over, you got to call it out. A guy like Swerve, I've always put him over. Bulked up when everyone said he's too small. Everyone's like, stop slapping the legs. He stopped slapping the leg as much. You know, he listens to the criticism. He rolls with it. But it's just like, people don't like how you say shit. Dave's sitting here going, So you can't listen to it really. It's like hard to even, he's like hypnotizing you with dumb fuckery, but they're just pissing in Miro's mouth. They do this all the time. Dave used to blow Gunther to death. Oh, they're doing great stuff in Europe. And then now he like acts like he's not shitting on Gunther, but he's just like shitting on him sort of by proxy all the time, which we've covered here innumerable times. I couldn't even pull up an example because we've covered it on the show, how he just subtly buries people and thinks he isn't. And Bryan does this shit too. And it's unfortunate, man. If he was in AEW getting meat chants, Dave would be like 7 stars.
Remember when he's in there and they're not reacting and he's doing, the whole thing of trying to get the crowd going. And it's like, man, they like Sheamus. But I mean, it's funny because Sheamus got a great reaction in his match with Waller.
Rusev's the heel in this too, dude. Dave. So they're like, we're not going to cheer this guy going, whoa, and doing the whip the arm around. We're booing him. He's attacking our guy, right? So it's also a matter of that, but I just don't think you really watch the shows, the WWE shows.
People were into his match with Waller. It was like a, super short match, but they were into the 4 minutes.
Right. Do you want to know why? Because people don't want heel Rusev right now, but WWE's like, we got to have him heel against Sheamus, or else what do we do with Sheamus? And I think everyone's predicting like, oh, they're going to become the Bar 2.0 after they have a bunch of whatever. That could be kind of hacky. I'm not going to lie if they go back to that. They cheered for that because he was squashing a heel, Dave. So you get it. They cheer the baby faces. So when Rusev first came back, he beat the shit out of Akira. Everyone was like, what the fuck? And they cheered because he came back. And then he beat the shit out of Waller. And it was like, okay, he's kind of this guy where he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy, but we're going to get behind him because he's just going to go after whoever's being a goof. And so he can kind of get away with being a heel as long as he's beating up goofy characters. And then somewhere along the line, Sheamus came back and they went, well, he's got a feud. Sheamus needs a feud, right? It's like Black and Priest. It's like, okay, Black's here. We got to turn him heel because we need fucking Priest to fight somebody. And he's our babyface right now. Right, guys? That's why that happened. So the exact same thing that happened with Black happened with Rusev on Raw instead of SmackDown. And so, and maybe even Rusev's happened first, actually. However, I just don't think Dave watches these fucking shows. But yeah, Dave, you're talking about in one instance, he's like a clear fighting Waller. He's the clear baby face. I'm beating up this goofy ass Waller guy who's a heel, definitive heel. And then you're comparing that to where he's fighting Sheamus, who's everyone's beloved Sheamus, who just came back himself. I don't know, man. I just think like if you studied the business and had Wagyu beef in a Big Mac, you would understand. And while listening to Taylor Swift, Dave, I think you would understand the business a little better, and you wouldn't fear flutes, and you would understand the psychology of pro wrestling and how that works. with the audience.
And I mean, when I was watching, it's like, God, it took them like 20 minutes to get anything. You know, even though they worked their ass off in the Rusev matches. And then in this one, like they're into it right away. And then Rusev comes in afterwards.
They work their asses off in the Rusev matches. What?
And they fucking go dead. It's like, man, whatever it is.
You're just trying to bury him because he left AEW. Just like you tried to bury Ethan Page, and now your publication is writing shit about how Ethan Page, CW, wants him to be a big star for everything for them. You literally wrote how defending Tony Khan years ago, which I'm about to pull out in this segment, how Ethan Page won't be a star because blah, blah, blah. You always do this, Dave. This is why we caught you. I don't always bury AEW. That's why you can't do a gotcha on me. I'm trying over here. I don't always put WWE over. Am I a bigger WWE fan? Yes. You can just admit these things, right? Just say, I like AEW way better. Fuck this guy because he left me and my son.
I don't know, but they don't like, this audience doesn't see him as anything.
This audience doesn't see him as anything. Bro, here's the problem, right? They see him as Rusev Day, and he wants to shed that a little bit. Like he tried to do in AEW, but he wasn't able to do. So again, you put it over when he went to AEW. You put over his expensive Mickey Mouse shirt and all this shit. But now you're just, oh, they don't care about him, and I'm going to shit on. We knew for a long time he was dead, right, Bryan? Or Bryan's like, we knew, right, Daddy Dave? We knew he was dead in the water, right? So then you bury him and then go, oh, but the fans don't like him. No, you're projecting. You don't like him. So again, Dave talking about Unreal, he also said he didn't even watch the fucking show to begin with.
All right.
But then he complains and says, oh, I show speed. And then he complains about, oh, fucking the show's about Triple H. He said he didn't even watch it.
WWE Unreal. How many episodes have you seen?
I have not seen a lot of it. I mean, I've seen enough to know. I mean, I don't want to judge the whole.
That is so bullshit, man. Holy fuck. I seen enough to know. That's like Fantastic Four released the first 5 minutes, like the day before it came out online. They just dropped the first 5 minutes of the movie. That's like saying, oh, I seen enough of it to know it's not going to be good. Oh, man. People are TikTok-brained zombie monsters, dude.
Thing based on what
Dave's a seething goon.
I've seen. I feel like I've seen like maybe an hour of it or so.
An hour of it. So an hour of it or so. I feel like I've seen an hour of it or so. Dave, each episode's an hour. So you watched the first episode, or did you not even do that?
But I mean,
well,
I know.
And when he says, I feel like I've seen the first hour or so. So it's exactly, see, I caught him. Ready?
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Another Phil capture. Gotcha. Ready, guys? The only way you don't know, oh, I watched about an hour or so, because you threw it on in the background while you were typing about CMLL and not even paying attention and just listening to it in the background, Dave. Know how I know that? Because when I'm editing and I just throw shit on in the background, the same thing happens to me. Gotcha.
First show was an hour. Did you watch the first
See,
one?
Brian, well, the first show was an hour. So did you watch the first one or not? Gotcha, Dave.
Was an hour. Did you watch the first one?
I watched a little bit of a lot of things.
Oh, my.
You
What
watched
the
a little
fuck?
bit of a lot of the episodes. Okay.
I watch
no,
a
I mean, I
little
watched-
bit of a lot of things. What a liar. Oh, my God. He's lying through his liar. Whoa, man.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
Well, I was at dancing classes learning how to do neck breakers, Bryan.
I watched a little bit of a couple of things. Yeah. I mean,
I watched a little bit of a couple of things. So, like, episodes? What are these things you speak of, Dave? A little bit of a... So, you switched to fucking Happy Gilmore 2. Oh, I watched a little bit of that. Switch over. Pretty good, Bryan. Loved it. I'm watching a train wreck. Area 51. Watched a little bit of that. Skipped over to Gilmore Girls. It's almost fall, Bryan. What the fuck, man? I watched a little bit of everything. What a fucking clown, dude. How does anyone take this guy seriously?
try to find the interesting stuff.
I tried to find the interesting stuff. So how do you do that if you don't watch the show? How are you going to find the interesting stuff? Dave, you went on Twitter and looked at some clips that people clipped. You didn't even bother to watch it. Which, like, I don't care if you did or didn't, but it's the fact you're lying about doing it like a sixth grader who got caught pooping in his pants a little bit. Oh, no, I didn't poop in my pants. You fucking did. Go wipe your ass. Dave, you're an idiot, okay? This is fucking madness, dude. I just fast forward through shit until I saw a Punk, and then I hit play so I could get triggered, Bryan. How do you know what the interesting stuff is if you're not watching the show? I just fast forwarded to where they're sitting in the writers' rooms. Like, what are you talking about, man? What a lying clown.
I don't know if I got all the interesting stuff or not. I mean, I don't want to.
I got a bit of everything. I just got the interesting stuff, but I don't know if I got any of the interesting stuff or not. What a fucking Morlock troglodyte goon.
Judge the thing before I've seen the whole thing, but my, I felt like there was some stuff in there that was.
You felt like there was some stuff in there. You said you just only watched some stuff, so it doesn't matter. Some of the stuff you watched, yeah, some of the little bit of the stuff I watched of everything, wasn't that good. I mean, I don't like how Thing had a beard, and maybe that one's too new. Sorry, guys. Superman, too much crypto for me, Bryan.
Just complete bullshit. Which, I've asked some people.
It's complete bullshit, even though I didn't watch the show. Even though I'm lying right now, I'm going to project and say they're bullshitting. It's always projection with these folks, man.
And it was kind of like some stuff was complete bullshit. Some stuff was kind of real.
So how can you say that if you didn't watch the whole thing? So some of the stuff was bullshit and some of the stuff was real? Fuck.
They didn't really go in depth on it.
They never got in depth on it. Triple H broke down the order of how he called everyone, and then he even showed how he booked the shit with The Rock face to face, and how The Rock's like, okay, but can I get one whip in at the end and shit? They got into the depth of it, Dave. You didn't watch it. Fucking moron. Holy shit. What the fuck, man? Oh God, that one really irks me because it's just such a blatant lie. You caught him with shit in his pants. Dave Meltzer's talking about Tony Khan and K-Slow spending so much time talking about specific episodes of 1980s television shows is wild. Khan's favorite episode of TV wrestling was the Flair vs. DiBiase episode of Mid-South Wrestling. So Tony's marking out over 80s wrestling. Okay, it's amazing. It's incredible, his knowledge. He is far from the only person who was actually around in that era to say the same. Also discussed episodes of World Class and Mid-Atlantic, some of the New Japan TV shows where the entire show was an Okada title match. Have to be on the list as well. Yeah, it's just bro. And then someone called him out. They're like, so Tony was a child at that time, so that didn't happen. And then he's like, well, he was a tape trader. And it's like, so he was a kid trading tapes with people? You understand how unusually fucking weird that is? And when people say, that shit's fucking weird. And this is why he can't connect with people, and he doesn't understand what a good TV show is because he's a disconnected billionaire. And then you get angry about that and then defend him. So Filthy Tom Lawler says, I have had exactly one conversation with Tony Khan ever in my life, and it was mostly him telling me about this specific Flair versus DiBiase match. Of course it was. So we covered it on yesterday's show, Dustin Rhodes versus Fletcher in a Chicago street fight where Rhodes got stabbed in the knee with a knee brace and he's all bloody and shit, and everyone's laughing at how fucking stupid it is. And Meltzer gave it 5 stars because of course he did. And yeah, I mean, he's just lost the plot. I mean, whatever. Guys, again, people go, why do you care about his star ratings? Because he will get mad at you and say, no, these ratings aren't just my opinion. They're the objective ratings. We've covered that. He's quadrupled down on that notion. As SummerSlam begins, we're going to keep roasting Dave here, okay? Look, Tony was a tape trader as a kid. That's like Brendan Schaub, infamous lolcow, tells the story. He's like, yeah, I sold comic books out of my fucking closet when I was a kid. I set up a sign and I was 7 and guys came in and I had little racks of comic books set up. No, you didn't. And this is the same type of bullshit ass. He was a tape trader as a kid. And he probably had the means to accomplish it because he was rich, but That's super weird, bro. And that's when people are like, yeah, that shit's weird and this doesn't connect to a greater audience. Don't you understand why? Dave doesn't get it because he thinks that's cool. Dave would hang out with kids if they traded tapes. Aleister Black strikes back against false narratives, says he loved being in AEW. So I quote tweeted this because the Observer posted this and they're the ones who pushed that out there. It was Bryan and Dave and shit who were like, oh, he fucking just wants to go there, not do jobs, leave, go back to the Fed. So that was Black. That was Dave and them who started that shit about Black. So Meltzer said, what says, if you want an easy litmus test to know if you're following a lazy clickbait engagement news account today, Meltzer didn't watch WWE Unreal before giving his review. We covered that. We just listened to that clip. So again, here's the Observer saying the CW network loves Ethan Page and wants to use him in as many promotions as possible. He did a ton of media and was the WWE rep at a NASCAR race on CW. CW loves how well he does media. And then, yeah, I posted this. Remember when Dave Meltzer, we covered this like 3 weeks ago, chat, at the most on this show. Remember when Dave Meltzer said Ethan Page didn't have it and wasn't charismatic or whatever while defending Tony Khan for not booking him? So on his message board, Observer fans were like, well, they should use Ethan Page. He can talk. He's got size, good look. And Dave was defending Tony. Nah, he's not charismatic to get over. He doesn't have what it takes to be a star and shit. He was saying that. Now, fast forward, all the CW loves him. It just shows you like Dave doesn't know shit. He just has his preferences and biases and runs with that. It's just that simple. This is further proof of that. If we haven't already proven that, like, it's irrefutable at this point. And for people who say, why do you care? Because it's fucking hilarious. Okay. It's called a lol cow. We're jocktobering his ass. We are. Who are these podcasting his ass? Okay. It's that simple. You know, WWE, Meltzer goes off on this whole thing about WWE reportedly wants to use AAA as developmental. They want it to be a different style than NXT or WWE because they're trying to market it as something different for the American audience. But they want the wrestlers to all learn American style, learn to do English promos, because the idea is AAA in their minds is going to be akin to NXT Europe, NXT UK, where you have stuff, you have shows, but the goal is, notice how he just goes where you have stuff, you have shows. He can't elaborate because he's just copying Phil Marks. So I told you guys this shit way before. I knew about the AAA sale way before. Dave, who's the top journalist newsletter, if you study the business, he's a fucking moron. He's a goddamn idiot. And now he's like, they're going to open a performance center in Mexico. So again, save your $14.99, give it to Phil Marks. And you can fucking just support what I do. Just get 14 months of 99-cent memberships and get access to my fun bonus show every Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like, save your money. Don't give it to him. Donate it to to a local kids hospital. Don't give it to this guy, okay? Like, he's an asshole and he doesn't even give you the news on time. And yet always on time. But, yeah, the Mexican coaches are going to have to go to Orlando to learn how they do it in WWE. So Dave's just adding extra here as well. But I told everyone this way before Dave ever fucking did any of that shit. So Dave Meltzer talks about Alberto. He says there's people pushing within WWE for return. I don't know why I put that in here. That's just WWE news. But then we get fucking Nicolo Piccolo again. Like, Dave just starts shit with Jimmy Corderas out of nowhere, right? So Jimmy's like, he deleted his post because Dax FTR jumped to fucking defend Dave and all this shit too. It was so cringy. But Meltzer's like, you're referring to Bischoff because I can't come up with anyone else in the world who fits your description. Like, Dave just jumps in to a conversation. Yes. Oh, here's what Jimmy said. He said, imagine standing for a company run by a guy who throws tantrums on Twitter and bleeds money, while half the locker room wishes they were still in WWE. As a Canadian, I'd rather twerk for success than sim for a sinking ship. And then Meltzer's like, if you're referring to Bischoff, he just jumps in. It has nothing to do with him. Goes at Bischoff. Bischoff doesn't own a company. He owns an amateur wrestling company or whatever. Okay, I can't come up with anyone else who fits your description. Like, just starting shit, throwing shots. And I just tweeted out, maybe one day Dave will gather enough courage to unblock me and have a conversation about this and Wagyu beef. So funny, man. It's just fucked that people are like, think they can bully Jimmy and shit. You're all goofs, and I stand on that. So Nicolo Piccolo's like, apologize to Mr. Corderas. This isn't even a smart clapback. I award you 2.5 and 0 bananas. here is, let's see, Jimmy responds and he's like, imagine, oh yeah, we just read that. So it's just basically, Dave just out of nowhere coming to fight for his friends. But here is Alvarez right before SummerSlam is commencing here, okay? And I will put a poll in the chat. I didn't even give my picks fully, okay? But we have to play this. And this will be the last part here. Well, Dave's like, anyway, I said that finish was brilliant 3 weeks ago, and it was. Also, a lot of people owe me a lot of apologies. Like, imagine being such a baby back bitch. You think you're owed apologies on Twitter. It's just clown world shit. So Meltzer said, did anyone else think CM Punk versus Gunther was atrocious? So here's Bryan like burying this match because the rumors are Punk dated fucking Maria Kanellis and Alvarez wish he could have or some shit. I don't know if that's true. And by the way, Niccolo Piccolo giving Meltzer bananas is because the old story too, where Meltzer like put a banana or like his girlfriend put a banana on his ear and left. Again, these are like Reddit stories. I'd have to refresh my memory, but let's take.
There was like two good
Does anybody think Punk and Gunther was atrocious though?
matches on the show. I thought the main event was like atrocious. And Gunther did everything in his power. He tried so hard. But CM Punk was absolutely, completely gassed out for at least 15 minutes of this 30-minute match. And it just dragged on forever. And it actually...
No, he was selling.
He was so dead, it actually made the finish even worse. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's start at the beginning, and away we go.
We watched WWE SummerSlam, Night 1, August 2nd, 2025. It opened after songs and video packages and Cardi B and whatnot, with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
This was the best match on the show.
I thought so, pretty clearly.
Yeah.
And
And it's saying something when the second best match on the show featured Jelly Roll.
I agree with that, too. I agree with that.
Nah, he's just fucking hating on Punk, dude. I mean, let's be honest here. What is he even really talking about? Like, oh, he was gassed and it was such a bad match and the finish was so bad. And it was like, you mean when he got him up for the back-to-back GTSs and powered him up and did it just fine and hit really clean GTSs? Or are you just fucking crying because you don't like CM Punk and you guys are all bum hurt over CM Punk? So here is, what Alvarez, is this the same quote we just listened to?
25, 3.5 hour show. SummerSlam 2025. Show wasn't very good.
No,
It
was a weak pay-per-view.
Whether it's WWE or AEW, they both have the opposite problem. There's so much nothing happening on a 3.5 hour show. Whereas like with AEW, there's
No, it's the conclusions to matches and feuds and shit, but you're just a dumb fuck because you're like, I need more than that. Blah. But AEW, there's so much going on. No, there's not. Just a bunch of run-ins and bullshit. You're just mad that, they had a show where they saved the wrestling for the wrestling show, for the PLE, and they did all the fucking bullshit during the TV shows leading up to it.
so much happening, but it's like a 6 hour show if you count all of the different matches. But I mean, one thing, if we had an hour and a half of really good wrestling in a 3.5 hour show, we didn't.
No.
There was like 2 good matches on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the main event was like atrocious. And Gunther did everything in his power. He tried so hard. But CM Punk was absolutely, completely gassed out.
So, again, we listen to that clip. Alvarez doesn't understand what selling is, and you can tell by who his friends are and the wrestling he likes. He doesn't understand that the idea behind the match was Gunther's a bigger guy. He's chopping the shit and beating Punk down, and Punk is fighting from underneath pretty much the whole time. I know it wasn't 4,500 Oz cutters and senton flips and stomps on cinder blocks. That's what it was, man. I know it wasn't Fletcher versus fucking Dustin Rhodes or whatever, dude. Speaking of which, this is the last bit here for this segment, and here's Dave just in contrast blowing this fucking Rhodes Fletcher match.
I'll tell you what, that match last night with Kyle Fletcher and Dustin Rhodes, I thought that match was fantastic. And I don't like those bloodbath matches, but I just thought.
Are you sure about that?
Dustin Rhodes was so great at being Dustin Rhodes in that match. And they told a story, and freaking Kyle Fletcher got over like a superstar. To me, that's a fantastic match. And they did,
Canadian Destroyer through a table and things like that. You know, they did some of that stuff.
Some of that stuff that you love, that you give 5 stars to.
Tope into a table, crashed. They used thumbtacks, which, you know, fuck up. Of course I don't like thumbtacks.
But obviously you do, because you fucking give it 5 stars, and you gave this 5 stars, and you give Anarchy in the Arena 12 stars and shit.
And an Iron Claw with the thumbtacks, which
Such
actually
a
I thought I
liar.
did like that just because it was new.
I don't really like that, but I did like that because it was new. Thumbtacks are new, according to Dave.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
You know, I actually thought that was hilarious or whatever. But it's like, but the overarching thing of all that, man, I love that match. I'll tell you what.
I hate all the stuff that they did in this match, but what a brilliant match. That is bootlicking. Like, that is the definite. When people are like, oh, bootlickers, that's the bootlicking, bro. I hate everything about this, about what they do in this match, but it was also going to give it 5 stars. Fuck, man. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week.